Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Konaha. I upgraded Sage Mode to Immortal Cultivation Technique. Chapter 81. Wood Style, Big Wood Technique. Yamato's right arm instantly turned into wooden sticks. The slats grew and stretched like crazy. But in the blink of an eye, a large number of wooden strips, like silk, tied Yu into a wooden cocoon. It's over. Seeing Yu being tied up by his wood style, Yamato said calmly. However, Yamato's words had just finished. Yu's voice sounded from behind him. What are you talking about? What? Hearing this, Yinhe's expression changed in shock. He turned around quickly and looked behind him. I saw Yu coming behind him at some point. What happened? How did he break free from me? How did he move behind me? If you are a Konoha shinobi person who knows Yohane, you will definitely know that Yohane has the time and space type blood inheritance limit thought. But Yamato, who was hidden by Danzo, didn't know Yu and didn't know what abilities Yu had. When he saw Yu running behind him without even noticing, Yamato was shocked for a moment. Shocked, but Yamato did not lose his mobility. While he turned around, his feet also pushed hard on the ground instinctively, trying to escape and keep a safe distance from Yu. It's just that Yu didn't give Yamato a chance to distance himself. Mangekyo Sharingan. Yu Mangekyo Sharingan stared. Yamato's whole body was like a deflated balloon, his eyes rolled up, and he fainted. Although I know wood style, it's so different from first Hokage. Looking at Yamato who fainted, Yu sighed softly in his heart, then walked over, picked up Yamato's collar, and lifted him up. Yu glanced at the member who was frozen into the roots of an ice sculpture, then activated space movement and disappeared into the underground training room with Yamato. Just after Yu left, the ice sculpture in the training room fell to the ground. There was a click. The ice sculpture broke into several pieces, and the frozen person naturally also broke into several pieces. Transformation. Yu has already had an experience. I became much more proficient the second time. After transforming Yamato and removing the shadow clone from the ice and snow space, he took Yamato to the desert space of Kagaya's alien space. Yu left Yamato, who was still in a coma, standing on a sand dune, looking at the endless desert in front of him, feeling emotional. I didn't expect that I would actually use wood style to do greening one day. If Yu wants to brush over Yamato's wood style, he must control Yamato's body and continuously release wood style. Thorn killing technique, big forest technique. These wood styles are too boring for one person to release non-stop. Simply, Yu chose to plant trees. Of course, among all Yamato's wood styles, the 2 bedrooms and 1 living room technique is also very interesting. But that technique is not suitable for brushing proficiency. After sighing, Yu used the upgraded version of spiritualization technique and successfully took over Yamato's body. Let's get a house first as a place to stay. Yu manipulated Yamato's hands to form a seal. Wood style, courtyard technique. Yu directly changed the 2 bedrooms and 1 living room into a Chinese-style courtyard house according to his own preferences. And his body happens to be in the center of the courtyard. Okay, let's start brushing wood style. Yu glanced at his own body, then controlled Yamato's body, jumped up, and reached the roof of the courtyard. Although Yamato doesn't know first Hokage's birth in the tree world, he can do an inferior version of birth in the sea of trees. Wood style, the birth of the sea of trees. Yamato clapped his hands, and the ground around the courtyard began to shake. Soon, small saplings with a little bit of green rushed out of the sand layer and emerged. As Yu continued to inject chakra, the grove grew rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye, and soon grew into a tree several people tall. But this big tree is still not very tall. At most it looks like a willow that has been growing for 2 years. Even if Yu continues to inject chakra, these trees will only become more lush and do not continue to grow. It's indeed an inferior version, much different from first Hokage's wood style. When Yu saw that the big tree was no longer growing, he stopped wasting chakra. Instead, it controls the sea of trees to spread further away. Viewed from the sky, a circular forest centered on the courtyard where Yu was located has been formed. And at the edge of this circular forest, there are a large number of saplings emerging and growing from under the sand layer. In this way, Yu was like a Wi-Fi transmitter, and the woods continued to spread outward in circles. While these saplings were growing, the system prompts in Yi Yu's mind also sounded continuously. Ding, congratulations. Host experience wood style proficiency +1. Ding, congratulations. Host experience wood style proficiency +1. After thousands of meters in radius turned into woods, Yi Yu moved the location and used wood style, the birth of the sea of trees again. Yi Yu is like a greening worker, planting trees thousands of meters in diameter in this vast desert space. When all this space is turned into a forest, this desert space should be renamed Forest Space. Yi Yu amused himself while releasing Birth of the Sea of Trees. Time flies, and 4 more days have passed in the blink of an eye. In the past 4 days, except for taking time to go to the front line of the battlefield and deal with a group of enemies, Yi Yu spent the rest of his time planting trees in the desert space. Finally, under Yi Yu's tireless efforts, the system notification sound he wanted to hear sounded in his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host. Experience wood style has reached the full proficiency level. Experience wood style has automatically upgraded to wood style. Hearing this system prompt, Yi felt overjoyed. Experience the proficiency of wood style and finally reach full capacity. Yi Yu couldn't wait to release the spiritualization technique, and his soul returned to his body. The next step is to gain proficiency in wood style. As long as I maximize my proficiency in wood style, I can use true several thousand hands and become a Buddha on top. Seeing the extra wood style on the system's blood succession limit bar, Yi Yu was extremely happy. Thanks to Yi Yu's hard work in greening the desert space in the past few days, most of the area is covered by forest and has become a veritable forest space. If Yi Yu wants to improve his proficiency in wood style next, he must either change the place, or he must destroy all the forests in this space and green it again. Forget it, let's change the place to do it. Standing on the roof of the courtyard, Yi Yu glanced at this huge green space, and finally decided to go elsewhere to improve his wood style proficiency. Call out. Yi Yu activated space movement and his figure instantly disappeared in this forest space. When he appeared again, he was already in the starting space. Yes, that's right, Yi Yu plans to green this huge ball space. In front of Kaguya Palace, a huge cat is sleeping on the ground. After noticing the sudden appearance of Yi Yu's chakra, the big cat instinctively opened his eyes and looked over. Seeing that Yi Yu did not come over, but stopped on the red mound thousands of meters away, the big cat lazily closed its eyes again. Just when Big Cat was about to continue sleeping, she suddenly noticed a familiar wave that made her uneasy. Looking up, he saw Yi Yu clasping his hands 1,000 meters away, with a large number of trees growing crazily around him. This is. Seeing these wildly growing trees, the big cat nudged and stood up from the ground. A picture appeared involuntarily in my mind. That happened decades ago. At that time, she was still a carefree big cat. Suddenly one day, a human appeared in front of her, and then used wood style to capture her, and then she was given to Cloud Shinobi village by the human. Since then, she has lost her freedom and been sealed in Jinchuriki's body. And she also learned the identity of the human who used wood style, first Hokage, Senju Hashirama. It's wood style. Didn't the humans in Cloud Shinobi village say that only the first Hokage can use wood style? Why can this guy do the same? This guy didn't come here specifically to deal with me, right? Thinking back to when he was caught by first Hokage using wood style. Seeing Yi Yu releasing wood style in front of him again, Big Cat's mind was filled with a lot of thoughts. After all, in Big Cat's heart, Yi Yu is a devil. Just when the Big Cat was feeling uneasy, Yi Yu also felt the restless chakra in the Big Cat's body. He turned to look at the Big Cat. Suddenly, he thought of something, and a kind smile appeared on his face. Wood style seems to be able to suppress tailed beasts. I have been using greening to increase the proficiency of wood style before. That was because of Yamato's silent killing technique, big forest technique. It's boring for one person to constantly release. Now seeing the big cat, Yi Yu plans to use the big cat to brush up the proficiency of wood style. Big cat, come here. Soon, Yi Yu's voice transmission sounded in Big Cat's mind. Hearing this sound, the hair on the big cat's body stood up. Sure enough, this guy's wood style was specially designed to deal with me. Although the big cat was very reluctant, Thinking of Yi Yu's terror, she finally jumped a few times and came to where Yi Yu was. Wood style, big wood technique. As soon as the big cat landed, Yi Yu waved his arm without saying a word, and his right arm turned into a large number of tree branches and swept towards the big cat. Seeing those tree branches rushing towards them, the big cat felt cold and instinctively raised its paws and waved over. Boom! A single blow from the tailed beast made Fei the same as his body. With a loud noise, the large number of tree branches that were swept away instantly turned into wood chips, and were scattered in all directions by the strong wind. 0. Huh, that's it. The big cat was confused. She was originally very afraid of Yi Yu's wood style. After all, first Hokage's wood style left a psychological shadow on her. Right now, he destroyed all of Yi Yu's wood style with just one blow. Big Cat didn't expect this to happen at all. Wood style was destroyed by Big Cat's blow, and Yi Yu himself had expected it. After all, his wood style was borrowed from Yamato. Yamato's wood style is still too weak. Try using chakra release once. There is a very big difference between the effects released by any ninjutsu, senjutsu chakra and ordinary chakra. Senjutsu chakra can strengthen ninjutsu. Yi Yu originally planned to wait until the wood style proficiency reaches the full level, then he can use Sage Mode to release true several thousand hands and top Buddha. But now, he had to use Sage Mode wood style in advance. Just do it. Yi Yu closed his eyes, and a large amount of natural energy poured into Yi Yu's body. Soon, Yi Yu entered Sage Mode. This is the ability that the old man possesses. The moment Yi Yu entered Sage Mode, Big Cat was in a trance, as if he saw the shadow of a familiar person in Yi Yu's body. This person is none other than Sage of Six Paths. Thousands of years ago, when she and the other tailed beasts were still cubs, Sage of Six Paths spent some time with her. Sage of Six Paths also practiced Sage Mode on Mount Myoboku. Now seeing Yi Yu exuding an aura similar to that of Sage of Six Paths, Big Cat's mind was touched. Sage art, wood style, tree. As soon as he entered Sage Mode, Yi Yu clapped his hands together, ready to release the Shuai Zhongsheng factory. But soon, he realized that after being strengthened by the magic chakra, his wood style was greatly strengthened. At this time, the birthday in the Sea of Trees can no longer be called Birthday in the Sea of Trees. Instead it should be called the Birth of the Tree World. On the ground under Yi Yu's feet, there were a large number of thick green branches and vines, like knotted wooden dragons, breaking through the soil and growing crazily. Initial space. A large number of thick branches and vines, like green tentacles, under Yi Yu's control, launched an attack on the big cat not far away. Wood style has been strengthened. Although Damao is a little lazy, her 1,000 years of life are not in vain. She can see at a glance that Yi Yu's current wood style is completely different from the previous wood style. The big cat didn't show any hesitation. She slapped the branches and vines without waiting for them to get close. Although this claw just slaps the ground. But the attack of the tailed beast cannot be measured by common sense. Boom! Accompanied by a shocking loud noise, a violent wave of air started from where the big cat's paw landed and struck forward. Suddenly, Kongan rose from the sky like a huge wave. The large number of branches and vines that swept towards the big cat were all destroyed on the way. But, after being strengthened by the magic chakra, wood style has been greatly strengthened in terms of vitality and toughness. I saw that the branches and vines that were originally destroyed by 20% grew new vines from the break in the blink of an eye, and launched a new round of charge. Boo hoo hoo. Under Yi Yu's control, tentacle-like branches and vines spread out to surround him. Soon, 2 branches and vines broke through the big cat's claws, and one of them wrapped around the big cat's claws in an instant. Big Cat also suffered losses from wood style. Knows that wood style can suppress her chakra. The moment she was entangled in branches and vines, she opened her mouth and spit out a huge fireball. The violent fireball exploded instantly, and for a moment, the surrounding area turned into a sea of fire. The nearby branches and vines were also set on fire. If it was the original Yamato wood style, it would have been destroyed by this fire at this moment. However, after the wood style strengthened by the magic chakra was ignited by the fire, the ignited part quickly broke, and then new branches and vines grew. For this reason, the big cat had to keep opening its mouth to breathe out fire. Wherever there are branches and vines, she sprays them. For a moment, the branches, vines and the raging sea of fire were in a stalemate. Call out. Just as the big cat kept breathing fire, 2 branches and vines suddenly broke out from the ground under her feet. Not good. The big cat's expression changed. Before she could make the next move, the branches and vines that broke out of the ground wrapped around her front legs and pulled them suddenly toward the back. The big cat's huge body lay directly on the ground, and also made a sliding shovel towards the front. Buzz. The big cat is not to be outdone, she wants to go big. Tailed beast bullet. The huge chakra condensed into a chakra ball in front of the big cat's mouth. As she continuously injects chakra, the chakra ball shines in the sky at a speed visible to the naked eye. Yu naturally noticed the expanding tailed beast bullet. Without any hesitation, he clapped his hands. Sage Art, Mayayanman. With Yu's current wood style proficiency, combined with Sage Mode, although true several thousand hands and Buddha transformation on top cannot be used, Mingshen Gate can still be used. A huge red wooden door fell from the sky and landed on the back of the big cat's neck. Boom. With a loud noise, the big cat's neck was pinched. Mingshen Gate has the ability to seal. Suddenly, the tailed beast bullet that was gathering at the front of the big cat's mouth collapsed instantly. And the big cat seemed to be grabbed by the back of Destiny's neck, lying on the ground unable to move. Using combat to brush up wood-style proficiency, the effect is quite good. Yu glanced at the increasing wood-style proficiency on the system panel, and secretly praised it in his heart, then made the Mingshen Gate on the big cat's neck disappear, and said to the big cat, "Continue." As if the big cat didn't hear Yu's words, it still maintained the posture of fate holding the back of its neck and lay motionless on the ground. Is this a mess? Yu dodged and came directly in front of the big cat. The big cat didn't want to pay attention to Yu, and hurriedly twisted its neck and gave Yu 10 backs of his head. Feather. Just when the big cat was in a bad mood, something happened in Konoha. Sir Hokage, the Leaf Miki team that went to Takino country to stop Rock Shinobi has been out of contact for a day. A Konoha Shinobi leader reported to the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, in a serious tone. In times of war, losing contact is equated to death to a large extent. Sarutobi Hiruzen also knew that the Yamaki team might have encountered an accident, but such unknown things must be clarified. Otherwise, it is likely to affect the subsequent war situation. Hai, inform Yu and ask him to go to the country of Taki to investigate the reason why Yi-Wan team lost contact. After Sarutobi Hiruzen thought for a moment, he said to Yamanaka Haichi. Yes, Yamanaka Hai responded, and then used his secret technique to contact Yu. It's just that after Yamanaka Hai used his secret technique, he failed to contact Yu. What happened? Yamanaka opened his eyes in confusion, and then contacted Yu again. It's just that Yu is in Kagaya's different space at this time. Even if Yamanaka Haichi's secret technique can contact acquaintances 10,000 meters away. But he and Yu were in a different dimension. If Yamanaka Hai's secret technique has a voice broadcast, you will definitely hear at this time, "Sorry, the user you called is not in the service area." Although Yamanaka Hai did not contact Yu, who was in the first ball space, relied on the upgraded version of spiritual transformation technique, and his soul was touched. This is Yamanaka Haichi looking for me. Yu has been contacted by Yamanaka Hai many times and has long remembered this touch. He glanced at the big cat who was still lying on the ground and couldn't get up, and then activated space movement and disappeared into the starting ball space. When Yu returned to the ninja world, Yamanaka Haichi's voice rang in his mind. Yu, can you hear me? Senior Hai, if you have anything to say, just tell me. Yu finally contacted Yu. As soon as Yamanaka Hai heard Yu's reply, he breathed a sigh of relief, and then repeated the words of third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. The country of Taki. I understand. After Yu replied, he released the grass pheasant sword in the splitting void space. Call out. Yu rides the wind and sword and heads straight to the country of Taki. The East Dead Man is Iwagakure's elite Jonin. Originally, he was ordered by the third Tsuchikage to go to the Land of Fire to raid Konoha's ninja troops. But after he led Rock Shinobi into the Land of Fire, the journey was smooth. It wasn't until he crossed the Fire Country border more than 10 kilometers away that he encountered Konoha's troops. However, these dozens of Konoha troops had been completely wiped out, and corpses lay scattered all over the ground. I don't know who killed these Konoha shinobi. They really helped us a lot. The East Dead Man stood on the trunk of the big tree, looking at the corpses of Konoha shinobi on the ground below, and said aloud, "Captain of the East Dead Man, come and see." A rock shinobi below was inspecting the body of the Konoha shinobi. He seemed to have discovered something and shouted to the East Dead Man. Hearing this, the crushing man jumped down from the tree trunk. "What did you find, Captain?" "This, and this, their hearts have been ripped out." The rock shinobi pointed at the corpses of the two Konoha shinobi and said with a somewhat unnatural look on his face, "It is common for ninjas to kill or be killed. But while killing people, he also took out their hearts. This behavior is a bit bad." Dongsiren looked at the two corpses with their hearts ripped out, and his expression gradually became serious. Soon, he seemed to have remembered something, and his expression changed. "No, hurry up and gather together." As soon as Dongsiren finished speaking, a shrill scream rang out in the air. A.B. Looking around, I saw a rock shinobi with a fist piercing his body. What connects the fist is not the wrist, but thin black lines like tentacles. Sure enough, it's forbidden technique from Takigakure village, Earthly Resentment U. Dongsiren is also well informed. When he saw the bodies of the two Konoha shinobi with their hearts ripped out, he thought of the forbidden technique factory in Takigakure. Now seeing the black tentacles connecting his fists, he confirmed his suspicion. Boo-hoo-hoo. While the East Dead Man was talking, the rock shinobi who were scattered everywhere had already come to gather around the East Dead Man. Soon, under the gaze of all the rock shinobi, a figure slowly walked out from the depths of the forest. I saw that the man was wearing a forehead protector from Takigakure village, a turban on his head, and a mask on his face. Only a pair of green eyes were exposed to the air. This person is none other than Kakuzu, who loves money and heart. As Kakuzu strolled out, the black tentacles on his wrists contracted sharply. Soon, the fist that pierced Rock Shinobi's body was retracted and finally connected with his wrist. Although there was a gap at the connection between the wrist and the fist, the black tentacles inside the skin seemed to have their own thoughts and actually sewed the fist and wrist together. Seeing this scene, every Rock Shinobi felt numb. At this moment, they only had one thought in their minds: is this a human or a monster? Originally, I thought it was Konoha's reinforcements, but I didn't expect them to be Iwagakure's ninjas. But it doesn't matter, I happen to be short of a few hearts, so I'll use your hearts to replenish them. Kakuzu, who was wearing a mask, looked at the dozens of rock shinobi in front of him, as if you were surrounded by me. The East Dead Man stared intently at Kakuzu. He knew about the local resentment in Takigakure village. Naturally, I have heard about the incident decades ago when the rebellious ninja Kakuzu of Takigakure killed the senior officials of Takigakure and seized the forbidden technique. The East Dead Man made a gesture to the rock shinobi behind him, and then all the rock shinobi formed a formation. Snort. Kakuzu looked at these rock shinobi and snorted with disdain, then took the lead in launching the attack. I saw Kakuzu's fists, connected by a large number of black tentacles, flying towards rock shinobi in front. Boo-hoo-hoo. A group of rock shinobi relied on their numerical advantage to throw kunai tied with detonating talismans at Kakuzu. Suddenly, dozens of detonating talisman kunai swept towards Kakuzu like raindrops. Kakuzu's right arm suddenly pulled, and his right fist flew into the sky, sweeping away thousands of troops. In an instant, many detonating talisman kunai were hit. Boom boom boom. In an instant, a series of explosions sounded in the air. The black tentacle connected to Kakuzu's right fist seemed to be broken by the explosion of the detonating talisman, and Kakuzu's right fist fell directly to the ground. The rock shinobi ignored the right fist that fell to the ground and continued to launch fierce attacks on Kakuzu's body. Kakuzu was like Voldemort. His body suddenly fell down, dodging most of the detonating talisman kunai, and a small part of the detonating talisman kunai fell on Kakuzu. But Kakuzu didn't care. His left fist had already rushed into the rock shinobi army. In an instant, several rock shinobi's bodies were pierced by fists. And Kakuzu's body was also submerged in the explosion of the detonating talisman. Boom boom boom. Did it get done? A rock shinobi stared intently at the location of the explosion. Soon, the flames of the explosion dissipated. Kakuzu's body was exposed to the air again. It was seen that Kakuzu was not injured except that his face was darkened and his clothes were a little tattered. If Yu were here, he would definitely know that Kakuzu's dark complexion was not because Kakuzu was in a bad mood. This is Kakuzu's ninjutsu, Earth Style, Earth Spear. This is a kind of Earth Style ninjutsu similar to armament hockey, integrating offense and defense. In the original drama, Kakuzu relied on this move to destroy the iron wall barrier of the fire temple with one punch and defended Akamichi Choji's meat tank. Just now Kakuzu used this move to withstand the detonating explosion. Don't let your guard down and keep attacking. Seeing that the dead man was not injured in the fight, Dongsiren looked solemn and shouted urgently. Chi chi chi. However, just as the rock shinobi were preparing to continue their attack, Kakuzu's right fist, which fell to the ground and was not noticed by anyone, seemed to have an independent mind and actually controlled the black tentacles to launch an attack. Boo hoo hoo. The black tentacle connected to Kakuzu's right fist suddenly stretched like slender black steel bars. Before dozens of rock shinobi had time to react, their bodies were penetrated by black, steel bars. What? Seeing this scene, Dongsiren's eyes were about to burst. Although he knew about Dyuan, he didn't know the specific abilities of Dyuan. Now he saw that Kakuzu's right fist was blown off, killing dozens of his subordinates in an instant. He still didn't know where Kakuzu landed his right fist on purpose. If the East Dead Man knew the word LYB, he would definitely scold Kakuzu. LYB at this time Qian knew how. In less than 2 minutes, a dozen of the troops of more than 50 people were killed by Kakuzu. The East Dead Man knew that there was no need to continue his mission. Meeting Kakuzu was just an accident. Continuing to consume will only increase casualties. The dead man in the east wants to retreat. Just when the East Dead Man was about to give the order to retreat, a sword light roared from the sky. Because the speed of the sword light was so fast and the height was only a little higher than a tree a few meters high, when the sword light suddenly stopped, under the action of strong inertia, a powerful wave of air was generated that swept the entire place. At this moment, everyone, including Kakuzu, stopped what they were doing and looked up at the sky. I saw a ninja wearing a Konoha forehead protector, standing in the air with a flying sword on his feet. Standing in the air, Yu glanced at Kakuzu, and then at the large number of corpses of Konoha and rock shinobi on the ground. He already understood everything. Then he said, "You continue. Every time there is a war, there will be some powerful ninjas who become famous in the ninja world. For example, Sannin from the Second Ninja War, the Golden Flash of the Third Ninja War, Copy Ninja Hatake Kakashi, etc. As for the current war, in view of Yu's strong strength, his name has also spread. Because Yu has been controlling the flying sword to appear on the battlefield, and controlling the flying sword to kill the enemy. Hence his name. It's Konoha's sword-wielding ninja, Yu. A rock shinobi recognized Yu and shouted in surprise. Yes, that's right, Yu's name is sword-wielding ninja. Yu himself was not very satisfied with this title. He likes others to call him so-and-so Sword Immortal or something like that. XX Sword Immortal, I am very impressed as soon as I hear it. Unfortunately, there is no such word as swordsman in the ninja world. At most, there is only a certain sage, such as Toad Sage Jiraiya, Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Sword-wielding ninja, although this title is not very good, it is acceptable. When his celestial skills become famous in the ninja world, ninjas will automatically call him Sword Master. At the same time that Rock Shinobi recognized Yohane, Kakuzu also recognized Yohane. However, he did not call Yu a sword-wielding ninja, but 60 million tails. Kakuzu likes other people's hearts, and he likes me too. A few days ago, when he went to the gold exchange to trade, the person in charge gave him a reward list for the new. And on this bounty list, there are Yu and Namikaze Minato. The combined bounty of Yu and Namikaze Minato has exceeded 100 million. Among them, Yu single-handedly killed a ninja troop of Iwagakure, which ruined Iwagakure's initial invasion plan, causing Iwagakure to offer a high bounty of 60 million to Yu. Kakuzu saw Yu, as if he saw 60 million moving. Therefore, the first time he saw Yu, he called Yu 60 million. And he came to the country of fire for this high reward. 60 million. What 60 million? Standing on the flying sword, Yu was stunned for a moment when he heard Kakuzu call him, but he soon thought of something. In the original drama, when Kakuzu met Jilu and Asuma, he also reported the reward amount. Good guy, I've been offered a reward, and the reward is still 60 million. The corner of Yu's mouth twitched. 60 million Ryo appeared, and Kakuzu instantly lost interest in all the rock shinobi. He no longer cared about rock shinobi and directly attacked Yu. Call out. I saw Kakuzu punching Yu in the sky. The next moment, his fist separated from his wrist, dragging CACB long black tentacles and flew towards Yu. Team leader. A rock shinobi saw Kakuzu and Yu fighting, and his mind suddenly became active. For them, Iwagakure, Yohane and Kakuzu are all enemies. He wanted to have a snipe and a clam fight, and the fisherman would benefit. Dongsiren naturally saw through the other party's thoughts. Who doesn't want the fisherman to profit? But he knew that neither Yu nor Kakuzu were existences that they could easily deal with. They want to make a profit, but in the end, they are afraid that they will steal the chicken but lose the rice. More than a dozen of them have died, and if they continue to stay here, they will be completely wiped out. Now Yu and Kakuzu are fighting together. If they don't run now, when will they run? Withdraw. Without any hesitation, Dongsiren directly ordered a retreat. Kakuzu doesn't care whether everyone in Rock Shinobi stays or goes. But Yu will not let Rock Shinobi leave. Just when Kakuzu's flying fist was about to hit Yu's figure disappeared out of thin air. When Yu appeared again, he was already in front of a group of rock shinobi. I'll stop him, you go quickly. Dongsiren looked at Yu who suddenly appeared in front of him, and his expression suddenly changed. In the blink of an eye, he made the decision to stay and hold Yu back, allowing the others to escape. After saying that, Dongsiren rushed towards Yu. Earth clone. The East Dead Man quickly made a hand seal with his hands while sprinting. Earth clones appeared one after another, and soon, the body of the East Dead Man and the clones were mixed together, making it difficult to distinguish. Judging from his posture, it seemed that he planned to use his number to hold Yu back and buy time for his companions to escape. Go. Yu naturally knew what Dong Dead Man was thinking. He watched a group of Dong Dead Man rush over, put his fingers together, and pointed at one of them. Call out. The grass pheasant sword turned into a white rainbow and instantly penetrated the body of the dead man from the east. The next second, all the earth clones of the East Dead Man collapsed. How come? Dong Dead Man looked at Yu in disbelief. He didn't understand why Yu was able to find his own body from a pile of soil clones in an instant. You must know that his earth clone is a high-level clone. Yu looked at the fallen Dongsiren, and replied in his heart, you cast the earth clone in front of me, Mangekyo Sharingan, even if I don't want to find your true body, it will be difficult. After killing East Dead Man, the rock shinobi captain, Yu manipulated the grass pheasant sword to chop melons and vegetables, killing all the remaining rock shinobi. Okay, you're the only one left. Yu said looking at Kakuzu, the only one still standing. You kid from Konoha, you are really arrogant. When you are fighting with me, you are still distracted to deal with other people. This is not taking me seriously. When I fought with your first Hokage of Konoha, you had not yet been born. Before Kakuzu finished speaking, he was interrupted by Yu. Fighting the first Hokage, the kind that throws a shuriken and runs away from 800 miles away. Although Kakuzu didn't know this joke, he knew that Yu was mocking him. You're looking for death. Kakuzu's face was full of murderous intent, and the black tentacles in his body also rushed out of his body. For a moment, black tentacles were spreading their teeth and claws at the gaps and joints all over his body. As a LYB who has lived from the Sengoku period to the present, he will naturally not be angered by Yu's few words. He's not Hidan. Although he was extremely angry on his face, he was calm in his heart. He had watched the whole process of Yu killing rock shinobi just now. He knew that the Konoha kid in front of him was very extraordinary. It takes a lot of effort to get 60 million tails. At this time, he had already quietly used the 10 spears to arm his whole body. He was going to use the defense of Earth Spear to counter Yu's sword control skills, and then use his unrecovered right fist to launch a surprise attack on Yu. However, Kakuzu didn't know that the Mangekyo Sharingan under Yu's sunglasses could see all his little moves. In the face of absolute strength, Any conspiracy and trickery are in vain. Yu casually retracted the grass pheasant sword into the splitting void space, and then clapped his hands. Sage art, wood style, birthday. The next second, a large number of green branches and vines burst out of the ground, like giant dragons with knotted knots, sweeping towards Kakuzu. First Hokage's wood style. How can this be? At this moment, Kakuzu's heart could no longer remain calm, and there was a turmoil in his heart. His face became extremely ugly, and in his mind he couldn't help but recall the scene when he was tortured by First Hokage wood style. Although Kakuzu was very shocked that Yu actually knew First Hokage's wood style, his actions were not slow at all. Looking at the large number of branches and vines sweeping in like a huge wave, he moved his feet and retreated quickly. Soon, he retreated to the place where his right hand was left. Originally, he planned to use his dropped right hand to sneak attack Yu. But now, this is no longer necessary. A large number of black tentacles sprouted from his right wrist and his right hand on the ground. As soon as the black tentacles on both sides came into contact, the right arm on the ground was driven off the ground by the black tentacles and retracted towards Kakuzu's right wrist. At the same time, 2 of the 4 masks behind Kakuzu were squirming crazily inside his body. Soon, the 2 masks moved from his back to his shoulders. Fire style, wind style. Those 2 masks, under Kakuzu's control, released fire style and wind style respectively. The fire took advantage of the wind, and the sea of fire in the sky collided with the huge waves of branches and vines. Although the internet joked that the battle between Kakuzu and First Hokage was about throwing shurikens from 800 miles away. But I have to say that Naoto has a very clear understanding of the arrival of the tree realm. He knew that his wind style and fire style could only block this tree world arrival for a moment at most. Moreover, new branches and vines may appear on the ground beneath his feet at any time. Therefore, while releasing wind style and fire style, Kakuzu already had a plan for the next step. I saw the 2 remaining masks on Kakuzu's back frantically impacting outside his body. Soon, the 2 masks broke through Kakuzu's skin and emerged from his body. The independent mask, with its limbs and body composed of a large number of black tentacles, looks like a monster. After the 2 masked monsters escaped from Kakuzu's body, one landed on the ground, while the other had the ability to fly and flew towards Yu's location. Is this an attempt to use more to defeat less? Yu, who was clasping his hands together and continuously releasing Tree Realm Arrival, noticed Kakuzu's movements over there and raised his eyebrows. If that's the case, Yu's back also squirmed, and soon, Yu rushed out one by one. There are as many as 12 in number. Yu deliberately wanted to gain proficiency in wood style. Therefore, these 12 inches Yu are not split bodies, but the wood style clone. As soon as the 12 wood clone left Yu's body, they disappeared in a flash. When they appeared again, they were in all directions of Kakuzu. Sage art, wood style, the birth of the tree world. 12 wood clones clapped their hands at the same time. Suddenly, a large number of branches and vines were connected from all directions, forming an extremely huge bowl. And Kakuzu and the 2 masked monsters are like 3 ants in a bowl. Looking at the branches and vines sweeping in from all directions, Kakuzu's pupils shrank sharply, sweat broke out on his forehead, and there were thousands of grass and mud horses galloping in his heart. Young people don't respect martial ethics and bully me, an old man. Back then, First Hokage only used 1 wood clone to fight me, but you actually used 12 of them. Kakuzu's 5 hearts were all destroyed in an instant when the 12+1 wave tree realm descended. Originally, Yu planned to save Kakuzu's life and use him to replace the broken big cat to gain wood style proficiency. But thinking about the immortality of impure world reincarnation, it will be more convenient to gain wood style proficiency. So, Kakuzu died. Initial ball space. Yu stood in front of a cloud shinobi who was under the illusion, and clapped his hands. Summoning technique, impure world reincarnation. A complex runic circle instantly appeared around Cloud Shinobi. Soon, Yinwang's dirty soil spread along Wei Lian's legs. When Cloud Shinobi's entire body is covered in dirt, he transforms into Kakuzu. What did you do to me? Dirty soil. Kakuzu opened his eyes. After seeing Yu, he did not attack Yu, nor did he panic. because he clearly remembered that he was dead. Now that he is alive again, the guy in front of him must have done something to him. Yu did not answer Kakuzu's question, but casually released an ice release. Soon, an ice mirror formed in front of Kakuzu. This is ice escape. Point 0. Kakuzu looked at the condensed ice mirror in front of him, and his pupils shrank slightly. Not only does he know First Hokage's wood style, but he also knows ice escape. Intelligence shows that he also has the blood inheritance limit of time and space. How many blood inheritance limits does this kid have? At this moment, Kakuzu looked at Yu as if he was looking at a real monster. What are you looking at me for? Look in the mirror. Yu said with a smile when he saw Kakuzu staring at him. Hearing this, Dirty Earth Kakuzu then looked at the ice mirror. After seeing his appearance in the ice mirror, he instantly judged his current situation. Second Hokage's impure world reincarnation. You want to control me to participate in this war and help you fight in Konoha? Yu shook his head. No, your opponent is me. After saying that, Yu clapped his hands. Sage art, wood style, the tree world is coming. Again, I'm already dead, why don't you let me go? Looking at the crazily growing branches and vines, even with Kakuzu's temperament, he couldn't help but want to curse. If Kido Muzuki is still alive at this time, he will definitely support Kakuzu. You must know that in order to improve the proficiency of impure world reincarnation, Yu kept resurrecting Ghost Deng Wuyuda. In the initial ball space, Yu's body uses dirt Kakuzu to brush up wood style proficiency. In the ice and snow space, Yu's shadow clone used ice iron cannon technique to increase their ice escape proficiency. 3 days passed just below Yu's dual line brushing proficiency. On this day, Yu received a message from the split body of Iwagakure. The general content of the news is that due to the annihilation of the East Dead Man's army, Iwagakure's reconnaissance team came to the border of the Land of Fire to investigate. As a result, Rock Shinobi's reconnaissance team not only discovered the bodies of the East Dead Man and others, but also discovered Johan's tree, the relics of the birth of the world. In short, Yu's wood style has been exposed. Yu looked at the contents of the letter without any fluctuation in his heart. With his current strength, he no longer needs to be secretive. Therefore, after killing Kakuzu, he just took Kakuzu's body away. He did not go out of his way to clean up the large-scale, wood-style ruins on site. 720, therefore, wood-style's exposure was expected by him. Yu casually destroyed the letter in his hand and put the matter behind him. Then he said to the dirty Kakuzu not far away, continue. Sage art, wood style, wood dragon technique. The thick branches and vines transformed into a wooden dragon and headed straight for the dirty land Kakuzu. The exposure of wood style is nothing to Yu. But for many rock shinobi executives, this is nothing short of earth-shattering. Wood style, that is the secret technique possessed by first Hokage Senju Hashirama. Back then, Senju Hashirama defeated all the invincible players in the world with his wood style. Senju Hashirama is still alive, and the 5 major kingdoms are keeping their peace. That's a myth, people call it the god of ninja. In order to recreate this myth, Konoha village spent countless efforts and sacrificed a large number of ninjas. For this reason, the Senju clan was almost wiped out. The result was that the attempt was all in vain. And now, news comes from the reconnaissance team that there is another person who knows wood style. After 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki received this news, he could not sit still. Under the protection of a group of guards, he went straight to the location of the wood-style ruins overnight. He wanted to confirm the news himself. Otherwise, he will have trouble sleeping and eating. Tsuchikage-sama, this is it. A scout ninja from Iwagakure stabilized his body, pointed forward, and said to Onoki who was running behind him. Onoki and a group of guards came to where the scouting ninja was and looked up. I saw a vast forest ahead. This forest is very weird. The trunks of all the trees are tightly stuck together, and the trunks are like knotted wooden dragons, crooked and twisted. At first glance, this forest is not naturally formed. Onoki looked at the forest in front of him with an unusually ugly expression. As an old man who has lived from the time of the first Hokage to the present, he recognized at a glance that the forest in front of him was the product of wood style, the birth of the tree world. Old man, Lois next to Onoki asked with concern when he saw Onoki's ugly expression. Onoki ignored his son Wangtu and used the super light heavy rock technique on himself. Then the figure flew towards the sky. Soon, Onoki came to the sky above the forest. At this time, an extremely vast forest appeared clearly and completely in Onoki's field of vision. There's no mistake, it's the first Hokage's tree realm. Onoki stood in the sky, looking at the forest in front of him, his eyes flickering, and his heart was filled with turmoil. The person who can create such a large forest must have an incomparable amount of chakra. Except for first Hokage, I can't think of another person who has such means. It's just that the first Hokage is long dead. What on earth is it? Just as Anamu was deep in thought, the voice of Lois interrupted his thoughts. Old man, there are still some people whose bodies have not been found. They may be in this forest. Cut this forest open and take a look. Hearing this, Onoki glanced at Huangtu, then spread his palms and pointed at the forest below. Dust escape, original realm stripping technique. Transparent cubes appeared at the front of Onoki's palms. Soon, the cube extended towards the forest below, forming a rectangular light pillar. Onoki manipulated this light beam and tilted it back and forth toward the forest several times. Under the lush forest, there are only tree stumps densely arranged together. The tree trunks and leaves were all broken down into atoms by Onoki's dust escape. Under the search of Lois and a group of Tsuchikage guards, all the bodies of rock shinobi that were originally buried in the forest were found. In addition, the remains of the two masked monsters excreted by Kakuzu were also found by rock shinobi. Master Tsuchikage, 3 people in the East Dead Man troops were killed by fists piercing their bodies, more than a dozen people were killed by sharp weapons such as Senbon needles, and the remaining dozens of people, including the East Dead Man captain, were shot by someone. Kill with the sword. This method of killing with one sword seems to be Konoha's sword-wielding ninja, Yiyu. Yiyu, hearing this name again made the veins on Onoki's forehead jump. 0. Their Iwagakure's first battle plan against Konoha was disrupted by Yiyu. And now, the crushing force was destroyed in Yiyu's hands. Onoki hated Yiyu deeply, but there was nothing he could do about it. If it were normal, Onoki would definitely criticize Yiyu, but now, all he can think about is wood style. After all, the threat of wood style is too great. Suddenly, Onoki had a bold guess in his mind. Yiyu came here and killed Dong Shirin and others. The remains of wood style are also here. The person who released wood style couldn't be Yiyu. Of course, Onoki only had this conjecture. Onoki is not 100% sure whether the person who released wood style is Yiyu. Onoki is not sure that the wood style ninja is Yohane. But another person is very sure. This person is none other than Uchiha Madara. Ever since Yiyu captured a white Zetsu from the mountain cemetery 2 years ago, Yiyu was noticed by Uchiha Madara. In the past 2 years, through the information collected and compiled by White Zetsu, Uchiha Madara not only knew that Yohane possessed the blood inheritance limit of time and space, but also knew that Yohane possessed a huge chakra comparable to a tailed beast. After surveying the wood-style ruins in Iwagakure, White Zetsu also went to the wood-style ruins. When White Zetsu informed Uchiha Madara of the detected information, Uchiha Madara confirmed on the spot that this wood-style ruins was created by Yohane. Master Madara, you said this wood-style ninja is Yiyu, then how did Yiyu obtain wood-style? White Zetsu asked curiously. Uchiha Madara did not answer White Zetsu's question, but subconsciously touched her left chest. On his left chest, there is the face of the first Hokage. According to Uchiha Madara, it is not difficult to obtain Hashirama's wood style. He obtained Hashirama's wood style by transplanting Hashirama's cells. Being able to release Hashirama's wood style, this Yiyu may be a little hindering to my plan. For Uchiha Madara, he doesn't look down upon even the 5 shadows today. He only has eyes for Senju Hashirama. Right now, Yiyu has obtained Senju Hashirama's wood style, so Uchiha Madara needs to target Yiyu. Leak the news about Yiyu's wood style to contemporary movie stars. Other plans remain unchanged. Uchiha Madara ordered White Zetsu. Yes, after White Zetsu left, the dark cave fell into silence again. Cloud Shinobi Army receiving and dispatching camp. Several Cloud Shinobi are constantly sorting and summarizing the information transmitted from the battlefield. Suddenly, one of the Cloud Shinobi seemed to have discovered some incredible information. He stood up suddenly and looked at the letter in his hand with an unusually solemn expression. This letter is an encrypted letter passed by an undercover agent. The general content of the letter is, Konoha's sword-wielding ninja, Yu can use wood style. Ugly Shadow has personally confirmed it. Several other Cloud Shinobi were shocked by the violent movements of this ninja. Although they really want to ask each other what they found, the reaction will be so violent. But these sending and receiving ninjas have confidentiality rules. Therefore, they could only suppress their curiosity and watch the other party hurriedly walk towards the Chinese army commander's camp where Raikage was located. Master Raikage, our undercover agent in Iwagakure just sent information. Iwagakure discovered Konoha's sword-wielding ninja, Yohanakai wood style. As soon as this Cloud Shinobi finished speaking, the third Raikage on the tent suddenly opened his eyes. The fourth Raikage, under the tent asked with disbelief, this is impossible. Isn't wood style the secret technique of first Hokage? How could Yu do this? Third Raikage also had the same question in his mind. But third Raikage is obviously much calmer than his son. He changed his explanation and asked the visitor, can you confirm whether the news is true or false? The traces of Yoyu's release of wood style are at the junction of Taki country and Fire country. The secret letter said that Tsuchikage has personally confirmed it. Upon hearing this answer, third Raikage fell into deep thought. He clearly remembered the situation when the second tail was lost. At that time, outside the real waterfall, none of the Cloud Shinobi guards noticed anyone breaking into the secret realm. In the secret room, no traces of the Erway battle were found. At that time, Toshiro's statement was that the intruder may have the ability to teleport directly to the secret room, and that the intruder had a strength comparable to the first Hokage, so that the second tail was subdued without even having a chance to take action. Over the past few days, information about Konoha's sword-wielding ninja Yu has been continuously collected. Third Raikage already knows that Yu has the blood inheritance limit of time and space. And the day the Central Army commander's camp was raided by Yu from a distance, third Raikage knew that Yu had a huge amount of chakra comparable to that of a tailed beast. These threads connect together. Third Raikage is already convinced that the news about Yu meeting wood style is true. Moreover, it was Yu who captured Erway. The junction of the country of Fire and the country of Taki is not far from us. I'll go over and have a look. While third Raikage was meditating, fourth Raikage was flashing with lightning. But before fourth Raikage could leave, third Raikage stopped him. No, Yu wood style is real, and Erway was also captured by him. Pass my order and prepare the entire army. I will personally deal with Yu and recapture Erway. As soon as third Raikage said these words, the expressions of all the Raikage guards all changed. As the marshal of the army, his duty is to sit in charge of the central army and stabilize the morale of the army. It is against the rules for a marshal to go to the front line to fight. The third Raikage personally went to the front line to fight, not just once or twice, but the guards had long been accustomed to it. But this time it's different. That Yohane not only possesses chakra comparable to a tailed beast, but also has the wood style of first Hokage. The third Raikage has to deal with such a powerful opponent. There is a possibility of overturning. How can the guards not panic? Lord Raikage, as the marshal, you should. The guards tried to persuade third Raikage to give up the idea of dealing with Yu personally. Master Raikage, although you are strong, in addition to Yohane, Konoha also has third Hokage, Sannin, the Golden Flash Namikaze Minato. Chi. Just as everyone was talking, a powerful thunder suddenly appeared on third Raikage's body. Seeing this, all the guards shut up. Can't I consider what you are talking about? Another Senju Hashirama has appeared in Konoha, and the ones who are most upset now are probably the old stubborns in Iwagakure. Although third Raikage didn't say it thoroughly, but all the guards understood the true meaning of third Raikage's words. It was Iwagakure who first discovered that there were wood-style ninjas in Konoha. At this time, Iwagakure is probably also planning to deal with Konoha. Although Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure are hostile to each other. But when it comes to dealing with Yi, the two villages have the same goal. Cloud Shinobi Village takes action against Konoha. Iwagakure will definitely follow suit. Iwagakure's Tsuchikage knew that there were wood-style ninjas in Konoha. The movie Cloud Shinobi Village also knows that there are wood-style ninjas in Konoha. On the contrary, Hokage from Konoha village didn't know that there was a wood-style ninja in his village. Sir Hokage, urgent report from the front line. Iwagakure suddenly dispatched 10,000 ninjas to invade the Land of Fire from the direction of Kanobi Bridge. Yamanaka Haichi suddenly opened his eyes and reported urgently to Sarutobi Hiruzen. What? As soon as Yamanaka finished speaking, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Mitokado Homura, and Uchiha Kaharu, the three senior Konoha officials, all changed their expressions. Isn't Iwagakure fighting on two fronts with us, Konoha and Cloud Shinobi? They have deployed so many troops to attack us. Aren't they worried about Cloud Shinobi's counterattack? Mitokado Homura said with a solemn expression. There must be something we don't know about here. Although the old guys in Iwagakure are stubborn, they are not idiots. The most urgent priority right now is to stop this area of Iwagakure. Uchiha Kaharu said aloud. Hiei, let Minato, no, let Yu go to the Kanobi Bridge and destroy the Kanobi Bridge. Sarutobi Hiruzen said to Yamanaka Haichi. Yes. Yamanaka Hiei was just about to contact Yu. The next second, he seemed to have received some news, and his expression changed drastically. Sir Hokage, urgent report from the front line. Raikage from Cloud Shinobi Village personally led an army to invade our country of fire. If Iwagakure dispatched tens of thousands of ninjas to invade the Land of Fire, it would be bad news for Sarutobi Hiruzen. Now, this Raikage personally leads an army to invade the country of fire, which is adding insult to injury. Sarutobi Hiruzen groaned and stood up from his position, his face becoming extremely ugly. Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village invaded Konoha almost simultaneously. Even a fool can see that Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure have joined forces. It's just that Sarutobi Hiruzen and others can't figure it out. Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure obviously have a deep hatred. Why did they suddenly unite? What happened behind this? Although Sarutobi Hiruzen looked ugly, he had not yet started to panic. After all, he also experienced the first ninja war and the second ninja war. Ask Team Minato to destroy the Shinobi Bridge and cut off the path of Rock Shinobi's army. Let Yu come with me to fight Raikage. Sarutobi Hiruzen issued orders to Yamanaka Hiei. Initial ball space. In a vast forest, countless thick branches and vines, like giant dragons, are constantly attacking the dirty soil Kakuzu. Dirty soil Kakuzu is like a slippery loach, moving around, darting left and right. Snapped. Dirty earth. Although Kakuzu can dodge very quickly, there are too many branches. As soon as Kakuzu rushed out from the gap between two branches and vines, he was hit by another branch and vine. In an instant, half of Kakuzu's body was beaten to pieces. Fortunately, Kakuzu is immortal. A large amount of dandruff, like dirt, gathered towards the place where Kakuzu was beaten to pieces. Soon, the dirty land Kakuzu returned to its original state. As soon as Kakuzu recovered, the next round of attacks came as scheduled. Nearly 10 days have passed since Kakuzu was caught here as a tool. In the past 10 days, under Yu's continuous explosion, not only the proficiency of Ice Escape has been maxed out, but the proficiency of Wood Style has also reached the full level not long ago. Like the original Explosion Style, the upgraded Ice Release and Wood Style no longer require sealing or clapping your hands, they can be released with just a thought. However, Yu will still clap his hands when releasing Wood Style. If I don't take pictures, I always feel like something is missing. Wood Style, Wooden Golem Jutsu. Yu stood on the thick tree trunk, looked at the dirty Kakuzu who was constantly dodging below, and clapped his hands. The next moment, the tree trunk under his feet thickened and lengthened at a speed visible to the naked eye. Immediately afterwards, a wooden giant comparable to a tailed beast separated from the thickened and lengthened tree trunk. As soon as the wood giant became independent, he raised his foot and stepped on the dirty soil Kakuzu. For Kakuzu, the wood giant's kick was like the weight of a mountain. Looking at the kick that covered the sky, Kakuzu wanted to show off. Anyway, he would be able to recover immediately after being stepped onto a pulp. But his body moved uncontrollably. Kakuzu waved his arms, and a large number of black tentacles were wrapped around a nearby branch and vine. Dirty soil Kakuzu pulled suddenly, and he quickly swung out like Spider-Man, swinging on a swing. Boom! As soon as Kakuzu left the dirty soil, Wooden Minister's foot stepped on the dirty soil where Kakuzu had just been. Snapped. But before Kakuzu had time to stabilize his body, while he was still swinging in midair, the wood giant slapped him over. Suddenly, Kakuzu was like a fly, being swatted to pieces. After Kakuzu recovered, Yu did not continue to attack. Instead, it was a reverse, impure world reincarnation. A coffin appeared out of thin air and collected the filthy soil Kakuzu. Let's get here first today. It's almost time for Hai to contact me. These days, although Yu spends most of his time in Kagaya's different space to improve his proficiency in ice escape and wood style. However, the splinters passed information to him, and he still knew the general movements of the Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi. Long before 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen received information about Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi's joint attack on the Land of Fire, Yohane had further knowledge of this matter. Sure enough, not long after Yu put away the dirty soil Kakuzu, he sensed Yamanaka Hai's contact. As soon as Yohane used space movement to return to the ninja world, Yamanaka Haichi's voice rang in his mind. Yohane, Raikage is attacking, please go to the front line of Tianakuni to support immediately. Movie. After hearing Yamanaka Hai's words, the figure who claimed to have the strongest spear and the best way immediately appeared in Yu's mind. King Zhao's the strongest spear and the strongest escape. Just in time, Wood Style's proficiency level is maxed out, true several thousand hands and top transformation Buddha, I haven't used it yet. Without thinking, Yu released the grass pheasant sword from the splitting void space, then rode the wind and wielded the sword, heading straight for the front line. While Yohane rushed to the front line, a large number of Konoha shinobi, such as Uchiha, Hyuga, Sarutobi, Nara, Akamaiki, Yamanaka, Inazuka, Aburame, etc., who were distributed on the border of the Land of Fire, were heading towards the Land of Land. The front lines where they are located converge. Wearing black armor and a helmet, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen also led a group of guards to the front line. When Yohane, Sarutobi Hiruzen and other Konoha shinobi were rushing towards Ta no Kuni, the Konoha shinobi originally stationed in Ta no Kuni were already fighting with the Cloud Shinobi army led by 3rd Raikage. Ding ding ding. Boom boom boom. In the vast forest, there are sounds of weapons clashing and detonating symbols exploding everywhere. The most tragic one is where the 3rd Raikage is located. I saw the 3rd Raikage, wrapped in a layer of blue chakra, with thunder flashing from time to time. Dozens of Konoha shinobi are constantly attacking the 3rd Raikage. But the 3rd Raikage was like blue lightning, his body flashing continuously, avoiding all the long-range attacks of all the Konoha shinobi. No, his speed is too fast, my shadow can't catch up with him at all. A ninja from the Nara clan, squatting half-crouched, controlling the shadows on the ground, constantly chasing the 3rd Raikage. But the shadow was twisting around on the ground, unable to keep up with the pace of 3rd Raikage. Laugh. While the ninjas of the Nara clan were talking, the 3rd Raikage over there had already rushed into the crowd of Konoha shinobi. After he knocked away 2 Konoha shinobi one after another, the 4 fingers of his right hand were pressed together like a sharp long sword. The spear penetrated the body of a Konoha shinobi. The Konoha shinobi whose body was penetrated did not die immediately. He was bleeding from all his orifices and showed a Doran smile to the 3rd Raikage in front of him. 3rd Raikage seemed to have noticed something, and looked towards the opponent's waist and shoulders, only to see a detonating talisman burning. The next moment, the detonating talisman exploded. The fire and shock wave of the explosion instantly drowned the Konoha shinobi and the 3rd Raikage. Obviously, this Konoha shinobi ignited the detonating talisman early in the morning, preparing to die with the 3rd Raikage. Seeing this scene, the other Konoha shinobi were not happy, but more sad. Now is not the time to be sentimental, Raikage is still alive. A ninja of the Yamanaka clan sensed that the huge chakra of 3rd Raikage had not disappeared, and he immediately shouted loudly. As soon as the ninjas of the Yamanaka clan finished speaking, the 3rd Raikage, wrapped in thunder armor, rushed out from the flames of the explosion. Earth style, earth flow wall. A Konoha shinobi clapped his hands on the ground, and an earth wall rose from the ground, blocking the path forward of the 3rd Raikage. Boom. This earthen wall didn't even block third Raikage for a second before it was penetrated by third Raikage's Shiban Gunsho. Change of heart. The ninjas of the Yamanaka clan put their hands together and aimed their fingers at the charging third Raikage. But before his heart-changing technique could be used, third Raikage's figure turned into a bolt of lightning and disappeared. Chi. The third Raikage is like entering a no-man's land, and no Konoha shinobi is his one place. A man named Konoha Shinobi was killed by the third Raikage. Careful, the ninjas of the Nara clan are still concentrating on manipulating the shadows and trying to control the third Raikage. Suddenly, a rapid prompt sounded in his ear. Hearing this, the ninjas of the Nara clan hurriedly looked up and saw third Raikage rushing in front of him at some point. Seeing the four fingers of third Raikage flashing with thunder and lightning magnified sharply in his eyes, the ninja of the fleshy clan seemed to see death. However, just when the third Raikage's Shiban Gunsho was about to penetrate the Nara clan ninjas, a laser KBF instantly hit the third Raikage. If an ordinary ninja was hit by this laser, his body would probably have been penetrated. But third Raikage, whose body was covered by thunder armor, was hit by the laser. His body just flew out like a cannonball and was not penetrated. Finally, third Raikage's feet plowed a long trace on the ground, and then he stabilized his body. And third Raikage also saw what the laser that just hit him was. A melted coin lay quietly on the ground at his feet. Third Raikage glanced at the melted coin, then raised his eyes to look at the source of the laser. I saw a sword light roaring from the sky. Soon, the sword stopped and the wind started. A figure stepped on a flying sword and stood in the air. It's Yu. Seeing the figure in the sky, all the Konoha shinobi were overjoyed. Compared to the joy on Konoha's side, the expressions of the Raikage guards on Cloud Shinobi's side changed drastically. It's Konoha's sword-wielding ninja, Yu. Hurry up and protect Raikage-sama. These Raikage guards knew that Yu possessed first Hokage's wood-style ninjutsu. Therefore, they have been prepared for Yu's arrival. Now seeing Yu appear, they immediately gave up the Konoha shinobi in front of them and gathered around third Raikage. Boss. Just as one of the Raikage guards was about to speak, the third Raikage burst out with a powerful chakra, interrupting his words. I saw third Raikage, the thunder armor on his body became thicker, and the violent thunder continued to flash. The black hat on his head turned into pieces under the impact of the thunder chakra. Suddenly, third Raikage's hair stood on end and on end. This is his lightning-style chakra mode, full power form. Facing Yu, who knew first Hokage wood style, he didn't dare to underestimate him at all, and used all his strength as soon as he came up. Sword-wielding ninja of Konoha, let me see how your wood style is a bit like first Hokage. While speaking, the third Raikage of lightning-style chakra mode had already rushed towards Yu. Wood style. What wood style? What is Raikage talking about? After hearing the words of third Raikage, all the Konoha shinobi who had not received any news were confused. They understood every word of third Raikage's words, but they couldn't understand it together. But soon, they understood. I saw Yu standing in the sky and clapped his hands. Wood style, the birth of the tree world. Chapter 91. Wood style, the birth of the tree world. On the ground below Yu, a large number of branches and vines that were as knotted as giant dragons broke out of the ground and grew crazily. The older Konoha shinobi practitioners looked at the scene in front of them, and they were all dumbfounded, and their hearts were filled with turmoil. This is first Hokage's secret technique of wood style. Why does Yu know wood style? What on earth is it? These older Konoha shinobi were ninjas of the same period as the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Many of them had witnessed first Hokage releasing wood style when they were young. At this moment, looking at the scene of a large number of branches and vines breaking out of the ground, they actually had the illusion that time and space were confused, and they were dreaming back to the past. They then looked at Yu, who was standing in the air with his palms together. His body shape actually overlapped with that of first Hokage. I didn't expect that one day I would see wood style with my own eyes. When all the Konoha shinobi were shocked, a large number of branches and vines sprouted under their feet. But under Yu's control, these branches and vines did not attack them. They stood on the ever-growing branches and vines, as if standing on the crest of the undulating waves, their bodies constantly rising and falling. Compared to the Konoha shinobi, the treatment of the cloud shinobi is not that good. Seeing the large number of branches and vines sweeping over the sky like a giant wave, Cloud Shinobi was extremely horrified. This is first Hokage's wood style. The scope is too large. There was no place to hide. Don't think about evading, hurry up and support Raikage-sama. One of Raikage's guards overcame the fear in his heart and took the lead in rushing towards the location of third Raikage. Someone took the lead in charging, and the other Cloud Shinobi also reacted and chased after them. Third Raikage is the first to charge, and he is also the fastest. In front of the huge waves of branches and vines, third Raikage was leading the way. He was running at high speed, his figure was like a spear with lightning attached, and he collided directly with the big wave. Bang bang bang, a large number of thick branches and vines broke under the brutal impact of the thunder spear. But soon, those broken branches and vines grew back and attacked third Raikage. Not long after third Raikage plunged into the sea of trees, a group of Raikage guards followed and met the big wave head-on. They are not third Raikage. Facing the branches and vines, flying all over the sky, they could only use the swords in their hands to cut them down. But the thick branches and vines were far tougher than they imagined. If you cut it with a sword, you can only get 3 points trapped. The branches and vines are not painful or itchy. Soon, a guard named Raikage was tied up by branches and vines that came from all directions. Immediately afterwards, amid screams, the Raikage guard who was tied up by branches and vines was strangled by the branches and vines. So strong. A Konoha shinobi standing on the branches and vines saw that all the Raikage guards were squeezed to death by the branches and vines in just a dozen breaths. He was filled with excitement and his eyes shone. Of course, this is wood style. The elder Konoha shinobi next to him said something proudly, and then looked in the direction of Yu. The two adults, second generation and third generation, have spent so much effort trying to recreate the glory of first generation, but they have failed. Unexpectedly, Yu mastered it without saying a word. He is indeed a genius. After sighing in his heart, he turned his attention to third Raikage. I saw third Raikage, whose whole body was wrapped in thunder armor, rushing left and right, constantly destroying the branches and vines around him. If we stay here, we can only drag Yu down. Withdraw. Although the Raikage guard gate was killed by Yu in one breath. But there are still a large number of Cloud Shinobi, fighting Konoha Shinobi elsewhere. They are going to support other Konoha Shinobi. Yu, who was flying in the air, looked down at the third Raikage who was constantly working hard to cut down trees. His joined hands suddenly let go. At the same time, his figure also slowly descended, and finally landed on a thick branch and vine. I see, is this the strongest spear? Yu's pair of Mangekyo Sharingan has already seen through the running roots of all the chakra in the body of the third Raikage. This means that he has copied third Raikage's one hand. The poison that descended from the flower and tree realm, even if third Raikage is prepared, may have a limited impact on him. Let's just turn it up. Yu thought about it and began to absorb the natural energy around him. Soon, Yu entered Sage mode. Before the third Raikage in the tree world could cut down all the remaining branches and vines, Yu suddenly clapped his hands. Sage art, true several thousand hands. Buzz. The next second, the entire scene where Konoha and the Cloud Shinobi army were located began to shake. What happened? 0.0. Why did the ground start shaking? The Konoha Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi who were fighting each other were all in shock. Soon, in their horrified eyes, a huge building rose from the ground. Because they are too close, it was impossible to see clearly the whole picture of this huge thing that suddenly rose from the ground. In their field of vision, everything is home. The extremely huge wooden hands are densely arranged together to form a high mountain. What on earth is this? All the Konoha Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi who were fighting stopped their hands and looked up. Looking at the big guys blocking out the sky and the sun in front of them, they all involuntarily shook their dry throats and their legs couldn't stop trembling. A few kilometers away, Sarutobi Hiruzen and other Konoha Shinobi were rushing towards the battlefield. Suddenly, at the end of their field of vision, a huge thing rose slowly. Lord Hokage, something appears in front of you. Next to Sarutobi Hiruzen, a Konoha Shinobi warned. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked up. From where they they could clearly see the entirety of the huge thing. I saw that it was a huge Buddha statue surrounded by a large number of wooden hands. The moment he saw the huge Buddha statue, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt like he was struck by lightning. That's Shodai's true several thousand hands. How can this be? As a disciple of first Hokage and second Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen has a very deep master-disciple relationship with these two people. Back then, he watched his teacher, first Hokage, being buried with his own eyes. Sarutobi Hiruzen is filled with mixed emotions now that he sees his former teacher's unique skill, true several thousand hands, reappearing in the world. There is remembrance. There is disbelief. Sarutobi Hiruzen knows very well that if you want to display true several thousand hands, you need not only first Hokage level wood style, but also first Hokage equivalent chakra. In addition, you also need to master Sage Mode. The combination of these three makes it possible for Sarutobi Hiruzen to believe that there is no one else in the world who can perform true several thousand hands except first Hokage himself. At this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen had only two thoughts in his mind. The first Hokage was reincarnated by the filthy call out. With this thought in his mind, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't stay any longer. He accelerated towards the place where Shinsu Shosho was. Lord Hokage, Hokage's guards, after shouting something, also chased after him. Among all the Konoha shinobi, not only Sarutobi Hiruzen recognized true several thousand hands. Yuhi Junhong and other older generation ninjas also recognized it. What are true several thousand hands? Yuhi Hong, who was gradually growing taller, heard her father looking at the huge Buddha statue in front of him with a shocked face and chanting, "True several thousand hands." Out of curiosity, she asked aloud. Hearing Yuhi Kurenai's question, Mitarashi Anko and other ninjas at the same time also set their sights on Yuhi Kurenai, waiting for Yuhi Kurenai's answer. True several thousand hands is a magic that can only be unleashed by the first Hokage. This move is so powerful that even Nine Tails can easily defeat it. Yuhima Kurenai explained to Yuhi Kurenai, Mitarashi Anko and others. Although the new generation of ninjas such as Yuhi Hong and Mitarashi Anko have not seen the first Hokage, but they grew up hearing the stories of the first Hokage. For them, the first Hokage is a belief-like existence. Now that they heard Yuhi Junhong's explanation, they were also filled with excitement. Isn't the first Hokage dead? Then who released this true several thousand hands? Might Guy asked seriously. Hearing this, Yuhi Junhong and other veteran ninjas fell silent. They also want to know why only the first Hokage can release true several thousand hands again. Roll your eyes. When they discovered the huge Buddha statue, the two brothers Hyuga Hiyashi and Hyuga Hazashi opened their Byakugan almost at the same time. Just when Hyuga Hiyashi's white eyes were scanning around the huge Buddha statue, Hyuga Hazashi's voice suddenly sounded in his ears. "Brother, look at the top of that huge Buddha statue." Hearing this, Hyuga Hiyashi raised Byakugan's vision to the top of the huge Buddha statue. Soon, he saw a vague figure on top of the Buddha statue. That is, the moment he saw the figure, Hyuga Hiyashi looked in disbelief and exclaimed, "Yu." Hyuga Hiyashi's exclamation came not long after Might Guy finished speaking. "Yu, this name seems to be answering Might Guy's sentence, who released this true several thousand hands." Just when everyone's eyes were on Hyuga Hiyashi, Yuhi Hong's mind moved and she immediately activated her perception. In the past 2 years, Yu has been in and out of Yuhi Hong's body. This greatly enhances Yuhi Hong's perception ability. As soon as her perception was turned on, she sensed Yu's familiar and huge chakra. It's really Yu. Sensing Yu's chakra on the huge Buddha statue, a moving smile appeared on Yuhi Hong's face. On the battlefield, a huge Buddha statue hundreds of meters high stands between heaven and earth. Yu stood on top of the Buddha statue, looking down at the third Raikage on the ground below. Compared with the huge Buddha statue, third Raikage is as small as an ant. The third Raikage, wrapped in thunder armor, looked like a giant, with a rare and solemn expression on its tough face. "Withdraw." Without too much hesitation, third Raikage turned around and retreated. In his opinion, if Yu created such a big battle, even if Yu's chakra was comparable to a tailed beast, it would not be able to last long. What he needs to do is to retreat strategically first, and then come back when Yu cannot maintain true several thousand hands. Want to run? Seeing third Raikage turning around and retreating, Yu, who was standing above the huge Buddha statue, raised his eyebrows. The next second, the huge Buddha statue stretched out a hand, and Reba patted the third Raikage. With the blessing of lightning-style chakra mode, third Raikage is almost teleporting. But compared to his size and true several thousand hands, the gap is really huge. Even though he ran for several seconds, he was still within the range of the huge palm of true several thousand hands. One consistent hand. The third Raikage, who was in the midst of an attack, looked at the huge palm above his head, covering the sky and the sun. He stabilized his body very decisively, and stretched out a finger to poke the huge palm. Boom! With a loud noise, third Raikage was shot into the ground like a nail. But the huge wooden palm was also penetrated by this nail. Let me give you a hand first. Seeing that third Raikage destroyed one of the true several thousand hands, Yu didn't care. After all, there are still 999 hands in true several thousand hands. Become a Buddha on top. While talking, Yu activated the matching skill of true several thousand hands Buddha transformation on top. The next second, the 999 palms surrounding the huge Buddha statue were like machine gun fire, overwhelmingly bombarding the third Raikage. Oiler. When third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen rushed over, he saw thousands of true several thousand hands continuously bombarding somewhere on the ground. Suddenly, the earth shook, the wind howled, and smoke and dust flew everywhere. Sarutobi Hiruzen knows very well that the operator of true several thousand hands usually stands on top of the Buddha statue. Therefore, all the way here, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes were always on the top of the Buddha statue. It's just that he doesn't have white eyes. The Buddha statue is too big and too far away for him to see clearly. Now that he was getting closer, Sarutobi Hiruzen saw the figure on top of the huge Buddha statue. Like Hyuga Hiyashi, Sarutobi Hiruzen also looked in disbelief after seeing the figure clearly. Yu. After seeing the huge true several thousand hands, Sarutobi Hiruzen always thought it was someone impure world reincarnation first Hokage. That true several thousand hands was performed by first Hokage. Right now, the person I see standing on top of the Buddha statue is not first Hokage, but Yu. How could Sarutobi Hiruzen not be surprised? He never imagined that besides first Hokage, there was another person in this world who could also use true several thousand hands. Lord Hokage. Just as Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Yu above the Buddha statue with an expression of disbelief, a group of Hokage's guards chased after him. After they saw the expression on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face, they subconsciously followed Sarutobi Hiruzen's gaze. When they saw Yu on the top of the Buddha statue, their expressions became very wonderful. 20. Team Leader. Before Yu took off the Anbu mask, he was the Anbu captain directly under the Hokage. Many of the Hokage guards present were members of Yu's team. After seeing that the person who released true several thousand hands was their captain, they were both surprised and happy. While Sarutobi Hiruzen and all the Hokage guards were shocked, the attack from the top Buddha continued. When Yu sensed that the chakra of third Raikage had completely disappeared, he controlled the huge Buddha statue to stop the attack. Isn't it going to work so soon? Although the third Raikage possesses the thunder armor, which is known as the strongest escape method. But the Senju attack on top of the Buddha can break even Uchiha Madara's full power armor Susanoo. Therefore, Yu was not surprised at all when the third Raikage was killed by the Buddha on top. What makes Yu dissatisfied is that the third generation Kage's strongest armor can only last for too short a time. His proficiency in Buddha transformation on top has not increased much yet. Fortunately, third Raikage is dead. If he were to know that Yu was using him as a tool to practice Buddha transformation on top, he would definitely not be able to help but curse. On the battlefield, it's not just Yu who has the ability to sense. The perceptive ninja on Cloud Shinobi's side has also been paying attention to the battle between Yu and third Raikage from a distance. When a sentient Cloud Shinobi sensed the disappearance of the huge chakra of third Raikage, his expression suddenly changed. Raikage-sama's chakra disappeared. As soon as these words came out, all the Cloud Shinobi around them were shocked. They knew that their Raikage was dead. They were not surprised by this. Some are just sad and angry. After all, they could see the terrifying attack of the Buddha on top with their naked eyes. Even the tailed beast looked like a small pet in front of that huge Buddha statue. No matter how strong their Raikage is, it was impossible to withstand such an attack. Boom, boom, boom. Just when all the Cloud Shinobi were immersed in sorrow, a rhythmic roar suddenly came from the air. At the same time, the earth was also shaking. All the Cloud Shinobi hurriedly looked up and saw the huge Buddha statue, which was hundreds of meters high, moving its body. That terrifying roar was just the sound of footsteps. The vibration of the earth as the earth shaking. Seeing this scene, the Cloud Shinobi were filled with fear. Not good. Quickly retreat. The huge Buddha statue is coming this way. What a joke. In front of that huge Buddha statue, they were no different from ants. The huge Buddha statue doesn't even need to take action, it can trample them to death just by passing by. The huge Buddha statue seems to move slowly. But he is so big that every step he takes is equivalent to a human ninja running a distance of more than 10 seconds. After taking a few steps, the hundreds or even thousands of wooden hands behind the huge Buddha statue stretched out and swung towards Weirin on the battlefield. When Kurenai Yuhi, Mitarashi Anko and other Konoha troops rushed over, they saw an extremely huge Buddha statue, manipulating a large number of wooden hands, crushing the Cloud Shinobi army. It's really Yi Yu. Yi Yu is so strong. As expected of Yi Yu. On the way here, they already knew from Hyuga Hiyashi's mouth that the person who used true several thousand hands was Yi Yu. Now I see with my own eyes, the person standing on top of the giant Buddha, the important one, is after Yi Yu. They still could not conceal their shock and joy. Victory is right in front of you, chase. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen is still shocked why Johan has true several thousand hands. But he knew that now was not the time to think about these things. The fighter plane is fleeting. At this moment, Third Raikage was killed by Yi Yu, and the Cloud Shinobi army fled under Yi Yu's huge Buddha statue. The Konoha army happened to be rushing over again. If you don't chase them now, why should you chase them? Just when Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen led a group of Konoha shinobi to chase the defeated Cloud Shinobi, a Cloud Shinobi suddenly came to a deserted place, and his figure slowly merged into the earth. I didn't expect that Yi Yu was so strong and Raikage was killed by him so quickly. I have to inform Madara-sama immediately. As this Cloud Shinobi dived, his appearance changed drastically. Soon, he reverted from Cloud Shinobi to White Zetsu. After White Zetsu's figure was completely submerged into the earth, he activated Mayfly technique and rushed towards the mountain cemetery where Uchiha Madara was. Mountain cemetery. In the dim cave, the old and white-haired Uchiha Madara is still sitting on the stone bed under the Gedo statue. White Zetsu stood in front of Uchiha Madara, allowing Uchiha Madara to use Sharingan and watch his memories. Under Uchiha Madara's Sharingan, White Zetsu's memory seemed to be like a surveillance record, recording in detail the entire process of Yohane's battle against Third Raikage. At first, Uchiha Madara showed no expression. But when Uchiha Madara saw Yi Yu displaying true several thousand hands and Buddha on the top, an expression of emotion appeared on his ancient and unwavering face. Not only can the tree world bring birth, but Hashirama's true several thousand hands and the Buddha on the top can also do it. Has this Yi Yu grown to this point? At that time, he used the powerful Susanoo and personally experienced Senju Hashirama's true several thousand hands and Dingshengwufo factory. Naturally, he knows the power of true several thousand hands and Buddha on the top. At this moment, Uchiha Madara fell into silence. Over the years, Uchiha Madara has laid out the ninja world just for Project Tasuki no Mi. The key to Project Tasuki no Mi is to gather the nine-tailed beasts. According to his original plan, he would first find a puppet to help him collect the nine-tailed beasts after his death. Finally, let Uzumaki Nagato use 6 Paths Rinne Tensai to resurrect himself and become 10 Tails Jinchuriki. But now, after seeing Yi Yu's true several thousand hands and top Buddha transformation, Uchiha Madara realizes that Yi Yu has become the biggest obstacle to Project Tasuki no Mi. Through the information collected by White Zetsu, the second tail is in the hands of Yi Yu. Once he dies, no one in this world will be Yi Yu's opponent. It is almost impossible for his puppet to get the second tail back from Yi Yu. There is no second tail. Project Tasuki no Mi cannot continue. It seems that before I die, I need to get back the second tail myself. At this moment, Uchiha Madara's Sharingan bloomed with a breathtaking red light. Of course, Yu didn't know that Uchiha Madara was going to come to him before pulling out Geto Statue's pipe, Hao Jiao Jiao. Even if he knew, he wouldn't care too much. After all, over the past few days, due to his non-stop work day and night, the progress of his Mangekyo Sharingan has reached 98%. Soon, Mangekyo Sharingan's proficiency will reach full level. At that time, his Mangekyo Sharingan will be upgraded to Eternal Mangekyo. When Uchiha Madara came over, he asked Uchiha Madara to experience Susanoo Buddha. When Yohane fought against 3rd Raikage, Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara Lin also fought against Rock Shinobi at Canopy Bridge. Huogong, those 3 Konoha brats, except for the guy wearing a mask, who is a little bit difficult to deal with, the other 2 are nothing to worry about. The 2 of us can easily deal with them if we go together, why bother? Capture that female ninja. Iwagakure's Oishi was very puzzled after hearing his teammate Huogong's plan to capture Nohara Rin. Oishi and Huogo are the Jonin of Iwagakure. On the Konoha side, except for Kakashi who is a Jonin, Uchiha Obito and Nohara Rin are both Chunin, and Nohara Rin is a medical ninja who is not very good at fighting. In the original drama, Oishi used invisibility to sneak attack Kakashi and Uchiha Obito, easily defeated Uchiha Obito, and even blinded Kakashi in one eye. If Oishi and Huogong Jonin join forces, they can indeed solve the Kakashi trio. However, the Firelight was not the original Firelight. He is disguised as White Zetsu. Uchiha Madara's order is to capture Nohara Rin alive and take her to the mountain cemetery. Uchiha Madara wants to plant a spell on Nohara Rin's heart. Indeed, the 2 of us can defeat those 3 Konoha brats together, but the guy wearing the mask has a very powerful lightning style. Once he is hit by his lightning style, we have to explain here. To be on the safe side, we'd better catch him. That female ninja then set up a trap and waited for the other 2 brats to come and save her. White Zetsu pretended to be a Firelight and told the reason that he had thought of for a long time. Alright, after hearing White Zetsu's explanation, Oishi felt that it made sense, and then he used the invisibility technique and prepared to capture Nohara Lin. Remember, just knock out the female ninja, don't do anything unnecessary. Not long after, the invisible Oishi carried the unconscious Nohara Lin to White Zetsu and released his invisibility. Very good, leave it to me. I'll set up the CAAA trap. You stay here to prevent those 2 Konoha brats from coming over early. White Zetsu pretended to be a Firelight and took the unconscious Nohara Lin from Oishi's hand. After giving instructions to Oishi, he took Nohara Lin away. Master Madara, I brought it to you. White Zetsu emerged from the ground and casually threw the unconscious Nohara Lin in front of Uchiha Madara. A blue Susanoo appears on Uchiha Madara. This blue Susanoo only has a skeleton chest and a skeleton arm. The next second, the blue Susanoo used the only skeleton arm to lift the unconscious Nohara Lin up from the ground. Uchiha Madara himself cast a spell on Nohara Rin. According to Uchiha Madara's original plan, the spell he gave Nohara Lin had only one effect. That is, after becoming 3 Tails Jinchuriki, he immediately returns to Konoha and destroys Konoha. But I thought of Hashirama's true several thousand hands and Buddha on the top. Uchiha Madara adds an additional effect to the spell, avoiding Yu. After doing all this, Uchiha Madara controlled Susanoo and returned Nohara Rin to White Zetsu disguised as fire. After Firelight left with Nohara Rin, Uchiha Madara said to White Zetsu's body, Kurigakure's plan can begin. Learn. One day later, Yu received 2 messages one after another. The first news is that Uchiha Obito died at Canopy Bridge, and Kakashi obtained one of Uchiha Obito's Sharingan. The second news came from the split body lurking in Kurigakure. Kurigakure dispatched a large number of mist ninjas and 7 mist shinobi, targeting Konoha village in the Land of Fire. After learning these 2 pieces of news, the image of Uchiha Madara immediately appeared in Yu's mind. 2 years ago, when he went to the mountain cemetery to capture White Zetsu, he had wondered if he could kill the old Madara if he used explosion as Patrick. But considering what trump cards Uchiha Madara might have, he gave up the idea. At the moment, looking at the number of Senju top transformation Buddha on the system screen, and the Mangekyo Sharingan that is about to reach the full level, the idea of finding Uchiha Madara popped up in Yuyu's mind. The day is not far away when Uchiha Madara will remove the Gedo statue tube. Before going to Uchiha Madara, you still need to make some preparations. Although Uchiha Madara is old, a pair of Rinnegan was also transplanted to Nagato. His strength is far inferior to that of his heyday. However, Uchiha Madara is too buggy. He opens Susanoo without eyes and kills Amaterasu by taking off his clothes. These are all routine operations. Six Paths Obito can't use Kamui, but Six Paths Madara can use Kamui after stealing Kakashi's Sharingan. Just in case Uchiha Madara does a few more things, such as Iga Inki's 15-minute Grand Experience card, Susanoo Gedo statue. Even if Yiyu can use Susanoo Daibutsu and his elemental transformation ignores physical damage, this is at best a 50-50 draw against Uchiha Madara. It's very difficult to defeat Uchiha Madara. He lacks the means to win with one hit. As for this one-hit victory, Yiyu set his sights on the Wei Yoruichi clan where Kimimaro belonged. True, the Yoruichi clan's bloodline limit is Dead Bone Pulse. Yuyu's idea is that after he brushes over Dead Bone Pulse, and increases its proficiency to the bone veins, it will automatically upgrade to Otsutsuki Kegaya's unique move plus kill the gray bones together. Otsutsuki Kegaya's ash bones can not only penetrate Susanoo's absolute defense. And once it hits the enemy will definitely die. Yohei's space movement is more suitable for killing ash bones together than Otsutsuki Kegaya's Yellow Springs Hirasaka. In the original drama, the Wei Yoruichi clan was suppressed due to rebellion, and eventually only Kimimaro was left in the entire Wei Yoruichi clan. At this time, the Wei Yoruichi tribe has not yet rebelled, and there are still many members of the Wei Yoruichi tribe. Therefore, if Yiyu wants to obtain the blood inheritance limit Dead Bone Pulse of the Teru Yoruichi clan, there are many targets to choose from, and there is no need to deliberately look for Kimimaro. Teru Yoruichi clan in Kurigakure. Yiyu directly gave the order to the split body lurking in Kurigakure to capture a Kegaya tribesman. The order was given in the evening. The person was sent here at night. In the ball space, Yiyu looked at an 8-year-old girl in front of him with 2 red dots of cinnabar on his eyebrows, and the corners of his mouth twitched. Why should we catch such a small one? Why can't we catch a bigger one? Although Yiyu complained, he was not slow at all in his actions. He lifted the unconscious little girl, activated space movement, and her figure disappeared out of thin air. The next moment, Yiyu appeared in Kegaya, which was originally a desert but is now a forest. Without any hesitation, Yiyu activated the upgraded version of spiritualization technique with ease, and the soul entered the little girl's body. Oh, Dead Bone Pulse has been awakened, which saved me a lot of effort. When Yiyu issued the order to the split body, he only said to capture a member of the Wei Yoruichi clan. No other requirements were mentioned at all. The target sent by the split body has already awakened the blood inheritance limit. Obviously, the split body was carefully selected. As expected of my split body. After Yiyu praised his split body in his heart, he focused on the blood succession limit Dead Bone Pulse. In the original show, Kimimaro can freely control his bones. Not only can he shoot his finger bones as bullets, it can also pull out the spine and use it as a whip. Thinking of the scene where Kimimaro's spine was cramped, the Yi clan manipulated the body of the little girl from the Yoruichi clan and reached out to grab the force. The next second, a complete spine was pulled out by Yiyu. At the same time, the system's mechanical notification sounded in Yiyu's mind. Ding, congratulations. Host experienced Dead Bone Pulse proficiency +1. Tapping one spine will increase your proficiency, which seems a bit of a loss. Yiyu held his spine and murmured to himself. Immediately afterwards, Yiyu dropped the spine in his hand and waved his arms. 10 fingers in a row. Bang bang bang. The phalanges of Yiyu's 10 fingers were like bullets, shooting towards the row of large pears in front. With loud noises, 10 finger bones hit the row of trees. Ding, congratulations host experienced Dead Bone Pulse proficiency +1. Ding, congratulations host experienced Dead Bone Pulse proficiency +1. In Yiyu's mind, a series of system notifications sounded. After testing 10-finger continuous play, Yu tried manipulating the hand bones, shoulder bones, and ribs again. I saw the little girl from the Yoruichi tribe controlled by Yu, with bone spurs sprouting all over her body. But soon, those bone spurs began to shrink again. Interesting. As a result, Yu seemed to regard all the bones in his body as a carrot knife. The bones appeared, the bones shrank, the bones appeared again, and the bones shrank again. During this process, the system's beeps are ringing continuously. In order to speed up the growth of proficiency in experience dead bone pulse, Yu is controlling the expansion and contraction of the bones in his body, and at the same time, his 10 fingers are also constantly firing 10-finger bullets. Suddenly, Yu's experience dead bone pulse proficiency increased at a rate of tens to hundreds of points per second. This is much faster than grinding ice escape and wood-style proficiency. I estimate that it will take less than 2 days to reach full proficiency by experiencing dead bone pulse. Looking at the system screen, the progress of experience dead bone pulse was rising slowly, and Yu worked harder. In the end, Yu even made rows of bones pop up quickly in order, and then retract in order. The bones seemed like domino. Just when Yu had been brushing up on the proficiency of experience dead bone pulse in the forest space, the entire ninja world was shaken by a piece of news. The content of the message is very simple. Konoha's sword-wielding ninja, Yu, used Top Buddha to kill the third Raikage. Maybe the younger generation of ninjas don't know what Buddha on the top is. But the older generation of ninjas all know that Buddha transformation on the top is first Hokage's unique skill. Yu was able to use Buddha transformation on top to easily kill third Raikage. This means that Yu's strength has reached the level of the ninja god first Hokage. In the year when the god of ninja was still alive, the entire ninja world was quite peaceful. Now, a new ninja god is born, and the structure of the ninja world will inevitably change. Iwagakure, conference room. The atmosphere in the conference room at this time was very depressing. All rock shinobi executives, including 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, all had extremely solemn expressions on their faces. Onoki glanced at everyone, and then, as if he had lost his energy and spirit, he took the lead and said, "Stop." What Onoki said about surrendering naturally meant that they, Iwagakure, surrendered in this war. Hearing Onoki's words, several stubborn hardliners instinctively wanted to refute, but they seemed to have thought of something, and their wrinkled lips just pursed a few times and then closed them. If it were left in the past, Onoki would not have said, "Surrender." Even if he expressed his intention to negotiate peace with Konoha, he would definitely be strongly opposed by the hardliners. In the original drama, at the end of the Third Ninja War, Onoki sent a peace treaty letter to Konoha. As a result, the messenger who sent the letter was intercepted and killed on the way. But now, there is a Yu in Konoha village. In the face of absolute strength, no matter how tough the hardliners are, they are powerless. When I think about it, Yu has strength comparable to first Hokage. The top executives of rock shinobi seem to be carrying a mountain on their backs, leaving them breathless. I'm not opposed to surrender. I want to ask, after surrender, if Konoha wants to counterattack, what should we do? A rock shinobi executive clenched his fists, then clenched them again, and finally raised his question. Although Yu has the terrifying strength of first Hokage, but Yohane is not the first Hokage. First Hokage is the honest man. In order to stabilize the ninja world, the first Hokage not only bowed to the 4 great shadows, but also divided the tailed beasts equally. On the other hand, Yu, an entire ninja army could be wiped out at every turn. At first glance, he is not an honest person like first Hokage. Such a murderous god possesses such terrifying strength. If you surrender to him, will he really agree? Yu is not only a threat to us, Iwagakure, but also a threat to the other 3 villages. We can hold a meeting with the 4 shadows to discuss how to face Konoha village next. A rock shinobi executive suggested. The 3rd Kage of Sunagakure has disappeared, and the 3rd Raikage of Cloud Shinobi village has just been killed. It may be difficult for the 4-Kage conference to be held. It is difficult to convene, but it must be convened. This is related to the future of each village. Cloud Shinobi Village I's name has been determined a long time ago. I am afraid that the person who inherits I's name will become 4th Raikage before long. The trouble now is that Sunagakur and third Kage are missing. Sunagakur is now involved in civil strife. Quote, let's help them quell the civil unrest. I'm afraid this won't work. If we intervene, Sunagakur may think that we are declaring war on them. 0 inches. A group of rock shinobi executives talked to each other and finally decided to cease the war first and send people to the other 3 villages to explain Yiyu's power and strive to convene the Four Shadows Conference as early as possible. 2 days later, the forest space. Just after the little girl Kagaya controlled by Yiyu performed the 10-finger continuous bullet, the system prompt he wanted to hear finally sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Experience Dead Bone Pulse has reached the full proficiency level. Experience Dead Bone Pulse has been upgraded to Dead Bone Pulse. Hearing this system prompt, Yiyu suddenly felt happy. Without any hesitation, he immediately released the spiritualization technique and his soul returned to his body. However, just when Yiyu was about to use Shadow Clone to increase his proficiency in Dead Bone Pulse, the system prompt sounded again in his mind. Ding! Congratulations on host Mangekyo Sharingan reaching the full proficiency level. Mangekyo Sharingan automatically upgraded to Eternal Mangekyo. Double happiness. Although Yiyu has long known that the proficiency of Mangekyo Sharingan will reach the full level in the recent period. But even so, he was still extremely happy when he heard the system prompt in his mind. Try Eternal Mangekyo first. Yiyu looked at the sudden appearance of Eternal Mangekyo on the system panel, and decided to try the effect of Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan first. Dead Bone Pulse proficiency, brush it up later. You know, Mangekyo Sharingan's proficiency level has been improved by nearly 1. Now that it has finally been upgraded to Eternal Mangekyo, he can't bear to try the effect. As usual, Yiyu first took a look at the pattern of his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Following Yiyu's thought, a water mirror instantly condensed in front of him. Since the upgrade of Ice Escape, he not only does not need to form seals, but also freezes very quickly. Yiyu looked towards the ice mirror and saw that the patterns on his eyes had changed. On top of the original pattern, 3 uniform black lines appeared. These 3 black lines are similar to Uchiha Madara's Eternal Mangekyo. Is this my Eternal Mangekyo? While looking at the patterns in the ice mirror, Yiyu felt the eye power of the Eternal Mangekyo. Although he has not released the pupil technique yet, but it can still be clearly felt that the pupil power has increased much more than before. Now you can use the complete body Susanoo without any damage, right? Yiyu once tried to release the complete Susanoo. But at the time, his Sharingan was just a regular Mangekyo Sharingan. Moreover, the high-speed regeneration ability is not obtained. Before his complete body Susanoo had been completely released, his eyes felt stinging and made him cry. So, he stopped releasing the perfect Susanoo. Currently, Mangekyo Sharingan is upgraded to Eternal Mangekyo. The after effects of Mangekyo Sharingan disappear completely. He can unleash his pupil skills to his heart's content. Complete Susanoo. Without too much hesitation, Yiyu's pair of Eternal Mangekyo suddenly froze. The terrifying chakra, centered on Yiyu, swept out instantly. Yiyu's body flew towards the sky under the action of a vertical force. Soon, a pair of huge and breathtaking eyes appeared in the void. The owner of these eyes is a giant warrior who is red in color and several hundred meters tall. The martial giant is wearing a battle armor, a long sword on his waist, and a ghost face mask on his face. At the moment when Wu Jianwang was fighting, Yiyu came to his head and stabilized his figure. This is my complete form Susanoo. Yiyu, who was inside the perfect Susanoo, subconsciously clenched his fists. After feeling the unparalleled power of the complete body Susanoo, a strong confidence appeared on his face. First let's draw the sword and slash, to test our power. Just when Susanoo, the perfect body, pulled out the long sword from her waist and was about to swing the sword, Susanoo, the perfect body, suddenly stopped. It's better to change the place. This desert has finally been greened. It would be a pity to destroy it. Call out. Yiyu activated space movement and his body and complete body Susanoo disappeared into this forest space. The next moment, the huge body of the complete Susanoo appeared in the ice and snow space, and it was still suspended in midair. It's just right here. Looking at the continuous icebergs below, Yu nodded with satisfaction, and then controlled the complete Susanoo to fall towards the ground below. When the complete Susanoo's feet landed on the ground, the long sword she drew suddenly swung forward. Call out. In the ice and snow space, a red blade appeared. The next moment, a shocking loud noise sounded between heaven and earth. Boom! The continuous icebergs in the distance were cut in two in an instant. Under the iceberg, it is as smooth as a mirror. On top of the iceberg, something cracked. Immediately afterwards, a terrifying shock wave swept forward with the complete body Susanoo as its origin. Under the impact of this shock wave, all the snow and ice on the ground were lifted up, and swept forward along with the air waves. This is the all-encompassing power of the perfect Susanoo. If we were in the ninja world, this blow could change the landscape. The Yu on the forehead of the perfect Susanoo looked at the terrifying destructive power caused by this blow, and he was amazed. Ding! Taishi host Eternal Mangekyo proficiency +1. Ding! Congratulations host Susanoo proficiency +1. During the time that Yu was controlling the complete body Susanoo, the system's mechanical notification sound also sounded continuously in his mind. His proficiency in Eternal Mangekyo and Susanoo is constantly increasing. When the proficiency of Eternal Mangekyo reaches the full level, it will be upgraded to Rinnegan. What will Susanoo upgrade to when her proficiency reaches full level? Guardian Spirit. Yu watched the progress of Eternal Mangekyo and Susanoo on the system screen as they continued to increase, and he felt a little hopeful in his heart. There is no difference between Eternal Mangekyo proficiency brushing method and Mangekyo Sharingan brushing method. Yu just needs to keep turning on Eternal Mangekyo. Susanoo's proficiency will take some effort. Although Susanoo remains intact, Susanoo's proficiency is constantly increasing. However, the chakra is also falling swishingly. Even with Yu's current chakra amount cannot maintain the state of the complete Susanoo for a long time. Therefore, to increase the proficiency of Susanoo, it is best to use the initial form. Buzz. He did what he thought of, and Yu directly deactivated the complete Susanoo. His figure also fell towards the ground below at the moment when the complete body Susanoo collapsed. After landing, Yu separated 12 wood clone from behind. In the original drama, Uchiha Madara used 25 wood clone to cast 25 Susanoo when fighting against the 5 shadows. At the moment, Yu also plans to use 12 wood clone to increase the proficiency of Susanoo. It's not that Yu can't release more wood style to increase the proficiency of Susanoo. However, he still needs to leave some chakra and clones to brush up the proficiency of Dead Bone Pulse. These 12 clones will stay in the ice and snow space to increase Susanoo's proficiency. The main body will go to the forest space, use Shadow Clone, and brush up the proficiency of Dead Bone Pulse. As Yu spoke, his figure disappeared. And those 12 wood clones also had 12 original Susanoos appearing at the same time, with only the ribcage and hand bones. 7 ninjas wearing Kurigakure forehead protectors ran across the endless lake as if they were walking on flat ground. Each of these 7 mist ninjas carries a weapon on their back. If Yu were here, he would definitely recognize this person. These 7 people are none other than Kurigakure's first 7 ninja swordsmen. Hey, you must have heard about it, right? The sword-wielding ninja of Konoha village, Yohane, owns the wood style of first Hokage. Loquat Juzang, who was carrying a beheading sword on his back, said aloud while running on the lake. What, are you scared? After hearing Loquat Juzang's words, Muri Jinpachi, who was carrying a blasting sword, looked at Loquat Juzang, raised a corner of his mouth, and asked with a slightly mocking tone. How can it be? Loquat Juzang retorted subconsciously, and then continued to explain. It's just that we are going to attack Konaha on this trip, and we are very likely to encounter this Yu. Shouldn't we make a battle plan in advance? In the original drama, after Uchiha Itachi joined the Akatsuki organization, he became teammates with Loquat Juzo. When capturing Three Tails Jinchuriki, Biwa Juzo and Uchiha Itachi formulated a series of combat plans. Combat plans and stuff are too troublesome. The 7 of us can just go up together. Karakushimaru, who was carrying a long knife and a needle and wearing a mask, said in a calm tone. I haven't shaved Wood Styles chakra yet, so I'm really looking forward to it, right? Samahata. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Demon asked the same man with a white bandage on his back. Chi chi chi. The great sword shark was like a living creature, and it actually made bursts of hissing sounds in response to the words of the watermelon mountain pufferfish ghost. Seeing Ziguashan Puffer Ghost and Li Xie Chuan Wan, none of them took Yu seriously, and Loquat Juzang was speechless. These guys are hopeless. Or all of them so arrogant. That's first Hokage's wood style. I heard that the third Raikage of Cloud Shinobi Village was killed by that Yu. Loquat Juzang has already made up his mind. If he encounters Yu, he will act according to the situation and let these guys go first. Just as the 7 mist shinobi were heading towards the Land of Fire, Konaha village was in jubilation. After Yu showed true several thousand hands on the battlefield, the originally stalemate war felt like it was over. Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village retreated one after another. A group of Konoha shinobi have not encountered an enemy for several days. For this reason, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen asked Might Guy, Shiranui Genma and other younger generation ninjas to return to Konoha early. Only the older generation of ninjas were left on the front lines. Word of mouth spread through the mouths of Might Guy, Shiranui Genma and other people who returned to the village early, and the story of Yohane's glory on the battlefield spread throughout Konoha village. Suddenly, Yu's reputation in Konoha village skyrocketed again. I knew Yu was a genius, but I didn't expect Yu to be such a genius. He can even master first Hokage's wood style. When I found out that Yu knew wood style, I was shocked. By the way, Guy, Xuanjian, why didn't you see Yu? Yamashiro Aoba, Moonlight Hayate and other contemporaneous ninjas were eating meatballs in a meatball shop while chatting casually. I haven't seen Yu for several days. Might Guy and Shiranui Genma shook their heads and said, "This war ended so quickly thanks to Yu. I also want to thank him properly. It seems the war is not over yet, right? There is such a fierce man like Yu in the village, who dares to fight. Didn't you see that Iwagakure and Kurigakure have retreated?" As soon as the ninja said these words, an eagle cry came from the sky. Hearing this eagle cry, the expressions of Might Guy, Shiranui Genma and others changed, and then they all turned their attention to the person who just spoke. The man's neck also shrank, and he thought to himself, this shouldn't be the case. It is said that Yu's strength is comparable to first Hokage. At this time, who else dares to attack Konoha? 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has secretly returned to Konoha village, was still relieved that Konoha village had a night feather. But after learning that the Mist Ninja had invaded the Land of Fire, his face turned very ugly. Hiruzen, what on earth is going on? Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi village just retreated, why did the hidden village come back again? Udatain Kaharu and Mitokado Homura, after learning about the Mist Ninja's invasion of the Land of Fire, rushed over in a hurry. I also just learned about the Mist Ninja invasion. Sarutobi Hiruzen replied, logically speaking, the news that Yu used true several thousand hands to kill 3rd Raikage has reached Kurigakure. What did Mizukage think? What's the use of paying for it now? I'm ready to fight. Since Konoha's older generation of ninjas are still stationed on the front lines, the task of facing off against the Mist Ninjas has temporarily fallen on the younger generation of ninjas such as Kakashi and Might Guy. Leaf Great Whirlwind. After Might Guy defeated a fog ninja with a sweeping kick, his eyes fell on Kakashi not far away. I saw Kakashi holding his Sharingan open and holding a Raikiri, with sparks and lightning all the way, and he easily killed several Mist Ninjas. If we had seen Kakashi kill so many enemies in the past, Might Guy would definitely compete with Kakashi to see who could kill more enemies. But now seeing Kakashi working so hard to kill the enemy, Might Guy was not in the mood to compete at all, and was just worried. He was worried about Kakashi. After all, Kakashi's teammate Uchiha Obito sacrificed not long ago. Kakashi was captured by Anbu of Tokumura. Just when Might Guy was worried about Kakashi, a Konoha shinobi rushed from the direction of Konoha and shouted urgently at Kakashi. What? Hearing this, Cassie's expression changed drastically. As a medical ninja, isn't Lin at the rear of the army? Why was she captured and taken away? Although Kakashi found this a bit strange. But he had no time to think about it now. Not long ago, he promised to protect Hao Lin in front of Uchiha Obito. Raikiri. Kakashi was in a hurry to save Nohara Lin, but he didn't want to get entangled with the enemy in front of him. Without any hesitation, he directly used 2 rounds of Raikiri to kill 2 enemies. But soon, a new enemy stood in front of Kakashi. Kakashi, leave these guys to us, hurry up and save Lin. Might Guy and Shiranui Genma rushed over in time, stood in front of the enemy, and said to Kakashi. Kakashi took a deep look at Might Guy and Shiranui Genma, and said nothing. Then, Kakashi took the opportunity to break out of the enemy's blockade and chase Mist Shinobi Anbu, who captured Nohara Lin. Xuanjian, we have to fight hard next. Watching Kakashi's back leave, Might Guy said something to Shiranui Genma, and then posed with his fists crossed in front of him. 8 inner gates, 3rd gate, life gate, open. The next second, a glistening green light appeared on the surface of Might Guy's body. Looking at a fog ninja charging towards him, Might Guy moved his feet, turned into an afterimage, and instantly appeared in front of the opponent, and kicked the opponent's chin with one kick. So fast. The Mist Ninja didn't expect that Might Guy's speed would suddenly become so fast. Before he could react, he was kicked by Might Guy and then spiraled into the sky. After dealing with the rushing enemies, Might Guy didn't pause at all. Taking advantage of the buff brought by 8 inner gates, he immediately rushed into the crowd and started harvesting. After all the enemies were eliminated, the green glow on Might Guy slowly dissipated, and he himself began to breathe heavily. Although after the original series, Might Guy opened 8 inner gates, 6th gate, and 7th gate at every turn. But Might Guy was only 12 years old at this time. Just opening the 3rd gate would put a considerable burden on his body. Seeing Might Guy panting, Shiranui Genma asked with concern, "Is everything okay?" But before Shiranui Genma could finish what he said, a steel needle quickly flew over in the forest and headed straight for Might Guy. Puff! Shiranui Genma hurriedly spit out the Senbon needle in his mouth. Ding! The next second, Shiranui Genma's Senbon needle collided with the steel needle flying from the forest. Might Guy, who was feeling sore all over, took this opportunity to sneak over to Genma Shiranui, and together with Genma Shiranui, they looked in the direction where the steel needle flew. Soon, 7 Mist Ninjas carrying weapons slowly walked over from the forest. These 7 Mist Ninjas carrying weapons on their backs are naturally the 7 members of Yuan Yuan. The quality of ninjas in the village has declined too seriously, right? With so many people, even 2 Konoha brats can't deal with it. Kurihara Kushimaru casually took back the flying needle shot down by Shiranui Genma, glanced at the corpses of the fog ninjas on the ground, then looked at Might Guy and Shiranui Genma, and said aloud. No, it's the 7 ninja swordsmen from the hidden village. Although Might Guy and Shiranui Genma don't know the 7 Mist Shinobi. But the Konoha Shinobi who reported the news to Kakashi knew him before. He looked at the 7 people in front of him, his expressions extremely ugly. 7 ninja swordsmen, Might Guy asked in confusion. That's Kurigakure, specializing in Mizukage. Just as the Konoha Shinobi was about to explain, Muri Jinpachi came down from the sky with a blasting knife and struck the Konoha Shinobi directly. The Konoha Shinobi subconsciously raised the dagger in his hand to block it. Boom! As soon as the 2 weapons collided, a shocking explosion occurred. The Konoha Shinobi was killed instantly. Seeing this scene, both Might Guy and Shiranui Genma's expressions changed. They knew that the strength of the guy in front of them could not be compared with the previous Mist Ninja. Hey, Jinpachi, didn't you see that people are introducing us? This is a good opportunity for us to become famous, why did you just kill him? Black Ho Raiga, who was carrying the thunder sword on his back, said teasingly after seeing the expressions on the faces of Might Guy and Shiranui Genma. HMPH, I have to kill them all anyway. Muri Jinpachi snorted, and then turned his attention to Might Guy and Shiranui Genma. Just when Muri Jinpachi was about to go all out and kill Might Guy and Shiranui Genma together, a figure suddenly appeared out of thin air and stood in front of Muri Jinpachi. Yu. Seeing the figure suddenly appearing in front of them, Might Guy and Shiranui Genma were immediately overjoyed. When the 7 members of Mist Shinobi heard the name, Yu, their expressions all changed. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.